key on the keyboard, and you kind of just want to blur the lines just enough to where they kind of blur together, but don't go overboard because you don't need to. It'll just make it too blurry. See, I'm kind of making like a solid look there. That's at 15. Now I'm going to go up on the other one. Oh, I got to change this one to vertical. One's horizontal, one's for vertical. And if you want to see how it looks, just go to a really high number and you get an idea what it's doing. So this one will be a lower number. It's going to be depending on the direction that your effect is in, whether you do the high one on the vertical or the horizontal. But basically, you just want to blur the lines so they're not so sharp, like this one. The horizontal one kind of brought the lines together, so we get more of a smoky look. And then let's go see how that looks. See, now that makes it look like a solid trail rather than the outline. All right. So I'm not going to go full trail on this one because I've got the CAM program loaded. But if you want to add more echoes to make this thing go past the screen, of course, for the flight one, what I'll do is change my decay setting a little bit to kill the edge of it, like that. This way it kind of fades out for me and you don't get such a sharp cutoff. That's why you want to adjust your decay. I'd like to go more to get it off the screen, but it's giving you the idea of now it's decay. That's how you decay the end of the trail. You can do the same for the beginning, of course. Over here, start intensity, but I usually leave that up and turn the decay down. If you have it going off the screen, then you don't need to decay it, but since mine's in the screen, the end of my trail is in the screen, I want to decay it so you don't see the edge of it. Alright, so let's get to a cool point here. Maybe here. So definitely we're running slower with my my screen recorder program going. Kind of sucks, but you know the deal, I'm sure. Where was the clip part there? Alright, right there, that should work. That's what I want. Now see, this is okay. See how you can actually see the lines now? That's what I mean. Depending on the speed, you may have to, if you don't like the line with this, I kind of like the line here a little bit. It gives it a little kind of a, texture. But if you don't like the line, you just need to blur it more. You just need to go back and, just blur it more. You can try on the vertical, try on the horizontal, see how it blurs it just on the one direction. Let's bring this one back down to like there, and then you get more, a lot less on there, but you don't want to blur too much because you don't want to make it look like a solid, too solid and give it no texture at all. You want to keep some of the texture in there. So, and then of course weakens your trail a little bit. So that's pretty much how you do that. That's how you get that going. Just work on the blur, and if you do the blur, it'll give you the smoke look. See, if we turn that off, we got outline, but you're basically blurring the lines together, and it'll actually give you, when you animate it, it'll actually give you a nice smoky look to it. Just like if you saw my daughter running across the thing with my new trail, that's the same way. That was all done with this. If you add more, the cool thing about it is, for the scenes, like with my daughter, she was standing there, she picked up a green football and moved it. It looks really cool when you add different colors and movements and all that stuff. Your movements is what's going to create the new colors throughout your effect. So like his arms bleeds through the blue here, and then it just goes over. And it really gives a cool look, depending on what you're doing and what you have in the scene. Like on the daughter scene, she was wearing the pink shirt, and you had the pink smoke look coming off, and then she picked up the green football and moved it across, up and down, and then the green trail went across her pink shirt, so it really looked neat. So it's really exciting depending on the scene that you're working with. So you'll see what I mean once you use it on yourself. Have a lot of colors in the scene, a lot on the subject and everything, to really fill it in. But it will look like smoke when you're done with it, just by blurring the things together. Just try not to blur them too much because you don't want to lose that smoke effect. You don't want to look like it's just a blurry trail. Keep the texture in there a little bit. And of course it does save on render times, but you want to get it to where it's blurred just a little bit. I got a little bit more texture in here. Now I'm going to come back to this comp here. I'm going to duplicate this top layer here just to get some more color into it. I'm going to change this one to an overlay. This will depend on the scene, of course. I'm going to hit T for both of these layers here. And you can adjust them. I'm just turning down the transparency just a little bit on both of them. And you can add another. I usually just play with it, just to try to get that certain look that I'm looking for. If I want a little bit more glow, that's all I do for this. There's no one way doing this. I just duplicate the comps and change to different settings to see what kind of look I get. Just like I do on all the other run trails. Every trail is going to be different, how you set it up as usual. There's just no one way to do it, but this is how I experiment with it. I want like the colors of his hair coming off. Then you can go ahead and maybe on this comp here, on the adjustment layer, add a glow effect to this. Stylize, glow, maybe just to make this glow a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and tweak down. Come back up on this. Just to try, get some glow in there. Come down just a tad. I don't want to glow in too much though. I want a soft glow. Really pain about doing this with the screen recorder going. Can't get those fine adjustments. Come up a little bit. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Let's see, glow. See, it helps brighten it up a little bit on this comp. And then we'll get, we'll have to play with these, of course. May not even need one of these comps in here, or these layers in here. Alright, so, that's how you work. I did it on this one. I mean, you can just do it right here if you want. But I did it on this one because if you add the displacement later, it'll actually enhance the displacement too, because you have to have the displacement on the other comp. You can't have it on this comp or it won't take effect. Another thing you can do is if you want to add displacement, you can do it on these comps here, on the actual outline comp. So I'm going to go just show you that real quick. Add the displacement here. We'll set it to luminance. Luminance, wrap pixels, and then, you can add the displacement right here. But you need texture to make this work. If it's such a smooth trail, that's why I said to use the fatter outlines if you're going to work with displacement. Because if it's a smooth trail, it'll smear it smoothly. You want to get some kind of see how it looks a lot better here, because you have texture here. Because of the, the lines are spaced a little bit farther apart. So be careful on how you do it because you don't want it to, peel off your edge here. But I'm doing it, I found it looks good when you're doing this just by doing the displacement right on the effect layer. And the outline comp here, you can do it to the background, of course, still, but this way you don't get your edges peeled off your background. So, you get kind of a cool, a cool effect just by playing with the displacement here. You can see it kind of it looks like he's going through water or something like that. Little tunnel. That can be used for a lot of things, depending on what you want. Let me just go ahead and turn off some of the blur here, just to show you how that's going to look. Try to get a little bit more texture in there. Yeah, that's a little bit too much. I didn't know I went down that far. I just want some of the outline. That's why I hate working with the